Back with me, Rod Wheeler, Steve Rogers, Eric Guster. And, guys, I'll say right off the bat, I think the federal government owns way too much land. I don't understand it. I think the Bureau of Land Management, they are bullies, and I think what's happened to our ranchers is a shame. But I think everyone universally agrees that what the Bundy group has done has been overreach. But, Rod, this is what I'm concerned about. We're forgetting about the Hammonds. I mean, they reported for jail. How the hell do you go to jail? You already did your sentence. You go home and someone says, go back, and they're getting lost in all of this.
Right. This is really a quagmire for the government. The government is going to have to try to figure this out, Charles. There are no easy answers to what's going on out there in Oregon. And, I think they're just going to have to go in and take those ranchers out of there. I agree with the ranchers, actually. I really do. And I agree with you, Charles, when you talk about how the government has overreached in terms of the land. But, you can't violate the law. And the law in the state of Oregon has made it clear that that land belongs to the federal government. So they're going to have to just battle it out in court.
Here's the thing. This thing obviously has touched a lot of nerves. Yesterday there was a tweet storm, Montel Williams versus the world. And one of his replies, he said, then let's give them put this down using the National Guard with shoot-to-kill orders. Steve Rogers, Montel Williams saying shoot to kill. Let's not pussyfoot around with these guys. Go in there right now.
He's an armchair general that should go back to his talk show to suggest that the United States military be used to shoot and kill American protesters is way, way out of line.
But what would you say if someone says they're armed protesters, and they've already said that they're willing to use violence to meet violence?
Look, if they open fire on the police, then there's justification for the police to use the force necessary to put it down. But they have not done that. I have never heard Montel Williams say, send the National Guard into cities where gangs have taken control of. And the fact of the matter is, right now, it's a peaceful protest. They're armed. The government knows how to negotiate. Police know how to do their job. We don't need armchair generals to add fuel to the fire.
Eric calls them terrorists, though.
I love when people say they're peaceful protests. Peaceful protests were in Ferguson. Peaceful protests were in the Mall of America, protesting different issues.
You're saying when people were throwing the Molotov cocktails and all that stuff?
You had armed guards facing off with unarmed protesters. That's the problem. That shows the way the U.S. government treats African Americans and other groups totally different.
Eric, is not Montel Williams suggesting
I'm not talking about Montel.
I'm talking about because he is suggesting an act of terrorism by the government to put down Americans.
That's an act of terrorism. When you go into a federal building and you take over and you say, if you come in, I will shoot you.
Look,
those are
they're wrong. I agree they're wrong.
Okay,
but the fact of the matter is,
Muslim, would you say the same thing?
They're wrong. I don't look at color. If they're wrong, they're wrong. But Eric, to suggest to use the United States military to kill American citizens is wrong. It's an act of terrorism.
I didn't say go in and kill them.
He did.
They should use military action. Absolutely.
Why? You got capable police officers who are
but Eric,
let 150 black guys go on the Brooklyn post office and take it over and say, we're going to sit in this post office until you put us out.
There's no immediate threat to anyone there. It's out in the wilderness. Yes, they do have
There
weapons.
wasn't one at Mall of America either, but they had armed guards there.
Well, but there was no military force used in the Mall of America. In fact, most people left the Mall of America.
Riot police?
Right. Now,
riot police, when you have riot police meeting people who had no guns, no weapons, in a silent, quiet protest, that is unused.
I think it's a stretch. I think it's a stretch to certainly say the terrorists, and I'll let Rod chime in, but we know what happened in Baltimore. We know what happened in a lot of other cities, and it turned extraordinarily violent and ugly.
Absolutely. It was completely different from what we see in Oregon. These individuals in Oregon are very organized. They're not trying to be there for a fight. They do have their weapons, and I think the government will be able to work it out with them. Baltimore and Ferguson was a completely different story, guys.
All right, guys, we got to leave it. We got to leave it.
They were unarmed, and then they showed up with tanks. Yeah, it's a totally different story. Absolutely.
And, of course, unfortunately, the crowd justified the use of those tanks.
And you don't suggest to kill American citizens.
The producers are going crazy. They're all in my ear, guys. That was some beautiful, passionate stuff.